Good morning and welcome to Saturday Morning Coffee Break, where this morning's topic is something we likely haven't thought about. The security incident you're not prepared for when your security team quits. Saturday morning truths. Your biggest security vulnerability might be walking out the door on Monday morning. You've got incident response plans for ransomware, disaster recovery procedures for data breaches. You've got business continuity protocols for when systems fail. But Fleetus, I bet you don't have a plan for security incidents that become increasingly common when your entire security team is quitting within a 6-month window. Does this sound dramatic or realistic? Let me tell you what I've witnessed over the years. Several companies where their entire security team, starting with their CISO, their managers, their engineers, and analysts, all walk out within months of each other. This is not because of conflicts or scandals, simply because they were burned out, undervalued, and unwilling to be the scapegoat for the next breach. And when your security team walks out, that's not an HR problem. That's a security incident. So, let's think about some warning signs that you're likely not noticing. Here's what the months before a security team exodus might look like. Your best security engineer stops arguing in meetings. They used to push back on risky decisions, question the shortcuts, demand better solutions. Now they just nod and say, okay, that's not compliance. That's resignation. They've mentally checked out and they're probably already interviewing somewhere else. Security requests start getting answers with fine, whatever you want. When your security team stops fighting for security controls and starts rubber stamping everything, they're not being cooperative. They're being done. They're giving up. They're making anything better and they're just running out the clock. Next, nobody's volunteering for projects anymore. Remember when your security team would jump at every opportunity to implement a new tool or lead an initiative? Now there's just silence when you ask for volunteers. That's not lack of interest, it's lack of investment in their future. They don't see themselves being part of your organization long term. Additionally, sick days and paid time off requests start to spike. Your security team is suddenly taking a lot of time off. Mental health days, doctor's appointments, long weekends. They're either burning out their PTO or they're burned out and they're about to quit. Either way, it's a flashing red light. So, why security teams quit and why you should care? The first reason, it's the thankless middle. Security teams exist in an impossible position. When everything works, we're seen as call centers who slow things down. When something breaks, we're immediately blamed for not preventing it. It's a can't win situation. Your sales team gets celebrated for closing major deals. Your engineering team gets credit for shipping features. Your security team, they get questions about why their budget, and they get questions asking why they didn't prevent a phishing attack that someone clicked on in the organization. After years of being told security is important while watching security concerns get deprioritized for business velocity, talented security professionals will leave for companies that actually value what they do. Reason number two, this is the perpetual crisis mode. Security is one of those few fields where you're expected to be on call 24/7, respond to incidents at 2 a.m., work weekends to patch critical vulnerabilities, and somehow also complete your regular job duties during business hours. And unlike other high stress fields, there's no off season. Every day is peak. Every vulnerability can be critical. Every alert is urgent. Every request is ASAP. Eventually, people break. And when they do, they don't just take a vacation, they take a job at a company with better boundaries. Reason three, we're fighting a losing battle. Imagine being a doctor whose patients refuse to take medicine, ignore health advice, and then blame you when they get sick. That's what being in security feels like in many organizations. They recommend multi factor authentication, rejected as too inconvenient. The security team warns about risky vendor integrations, overruled for business reasons. They flag dangerous security debt. It's deprioritized for new engineering features. Then the breach happens, and leadership asks, why didn't security prevent this? Have you been there? After enough of these cycles, talented security professionals decide they'd rather work somewhere their expertise is actually respected. Next, let's move to reason four, the compensation gap. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Your security team can make 30, 40, 50% more by switching companies. In a market where security talent is scarce and in demand, staying loyal to an organization that doesn't compensate competitively is financially irrational. And unlike other fields where loyalty might be rewarded with promotions and equity, security teams often hit the ceilings quickly. There's only so many security leads, leadership, director roles, and they're rarely filled from within. This causes a cascade effect. Here's what makes security teams attrition potentially dangerous. Instead, it's a cascading effect. When your senior security engineer quits, the remaining team now has to absorb her work. Now everyone's working harder, the stress increases. And the next person is now looking. When they leave, the cycle accelerates. But it's worse than that. Security is a deeply specialized field with institutional knowledge that cannot be easily replaced. Who knows the weird quirks in your authentication system? Who understands why that firewall rule actually exists? Who has the tribal knowledge of the past incidents as well as those near misses? Who has relationships with the critical vendors and your business partners? When those people leave, they take irreplaceable context with them. And the people left behind are now doing more than one job, two or three sometimes. Their own plus covering the gaps by those left by departures. There's a real cost to a security team for turnover. Let's talk some numbers for a moment, because that's where and what gets your leadership's attention. So, some of the direct cost recruiting fees. These can be up to $50,000 per senior security role. Onboarding and training. This is 30, 60, 90, 120 days worth of reduced productivity. The lost productivity of a vacancy can cost you 150K or more annually. And then backfilling with contractors costs you several $100s an hour. Now the hidden cost, increased security risks during knowledge gaps, delayed security projects and initiatives, deterioration of your security posture as the interim team struggles to get up to speed, the potential for security incidents during the transition periods, damage to the security team morale and culture, thus increased turnover risks among remaining your other team members. Now the incident cost. If your diminished security team misses something during the chaos, you have a breach. And according to IBM's latest study, that's going to cost you about $4.5 million on average. Suddenly, investing in retention doesn't seem that expensive. So, what actually retains your security talent. Here's what doesn't work: pizza parties, Security Awareness Month, and telling them they're the heroes while ignoring their resource request. So here's what will work: pay them competitively. Make sure you're doing market research. Adjust their salaries to match. Yes, I know it's expensive. Turnover's more expensive. Next, give them the authority that matches their responsibility. If they're accountable for security, you can't block risky decisions, but they can't block those risky decisions, excuse me. You've set them up to fail. Authority must match accountability. Respect their time and boundaries. On call rotations should be compensated. You heard me right. And then limited. Weekends should be sacred. After hour incidents should trigger comp time. Burnout prevention isn't optional anymore. Next, listen to their warnings. When your security team says something is risky, take them seriously. Even if you choose to accept the risk, acknowledge their expertise and make it a conscious decision, not a dismissal. We've all heard this. Let's do it more. Celebrate your security wins. Did they prevent a phishing campaign? Acknowledge it publicly. Did they complete a major security project on time? Celebrate it like it was a product launch. Make security success visible. As we talked early on, most of the time, not hearing from security means everything is well. Next, invest in their growth. Training budgets, conference attendance, certification support, or even just dedicated time to learn new technologies. Security moves fast. Help them keep up. Build a psychological safety net. Security teams need to be able to say, this is risky, without being labeled as someone who's there to just object. They need to be able to report concerns without the fear of blame. Your culture matters. So here's your coffee break action plan. This Saturday morning, do an honest assessment. Look for these red flags inside of your environment. How many security team members have left in the past year? How long are your security positions staying vacant? What's your security team's average tenure compared to the company average? When's the last time you had a one on one with each of your security team members? Think about that. Retention risk assessment is the next thing we need to focus on. If your best security person was to quit on Monday, could you function? Do you know which team members are actively looking? Have you talked to your security team about what would make them stay? Are you competitively marketable on their compensation? Or are you hoping loyalty covers the gap? So here's some immediate actions. Schedule stay interviews, not exit interviews, with each of your security team members. Review and adjust security team compensation. Identify and fix the top three things your security team complains about. Make one security recommendation you've been ignoring a priority this week or month. So the bottom line here is you can't prevent every security incident, but you can prevent the one where your institutional security knowledge walks out the door because you didn't value it until it was gone. Your security team isn't just a call center or a compliance checkbox. They're the people who stand between your organization and that catastrophic breach. They are the ones who respond at 2 a.m. when the ransomware hits. Your security teams are the ones who take the blame when someone in finance clicks on a phishing link. And right now, in this market, they have options. Companies will likely pay them more. stress them less, and actually listen to their advice. The question isn't whether you can afford to invest in security team retention. The question is whether you can afford not to. Because the next security incident you're not prepared for might not be a breach. It might be your security team's mass resignation. And that incident, it makes you vulnerable to every other incident you've been planning for and exercising in your tabletops. So here's my weekend challenge for you. Monday morning, before you check email or attend meetings, schedule 30-minute one on ones with each member of your security team, not to talk about projects or status updates, to ask one simple question. What would make you want to stay here for the next 3 years? Actually listen. And more importantly, act on what you hear, because the security team you save might be your own. Security team retention checklist now. First thing, competitive compensation. Benchmark against the market and others in your industry. Clear, authoritatively matching security accountability. Reasonable on call rotations with compensation and comp time. Budget for training, certification, and conferences for your security team. Regularly recognize security wins and contributions. Psychological safety to raise concerns without blame. Define career growth paths with inside of your security org. Leadership that actually listens and acts on your security recommendations. So I appreciate your time this morning. I hope you have a great Saturday. And as always, stay safe and stay secure, everyone.